do is use this one tool that will help you identify what your competitors are saying within their ad, within their Facebook ads, but also their landing page and their unique formulas. But also you can go out to the broader industry and see what best strategies are working right now. I'm going to show you what that tool is in just a second and how you can utilize it to make your ads even better. So if this is the first time joining one of my lives, I'm Brian Czekanski. I'm a Facebook ad copywriter focusing on those coaches and businesses that focus on moms as their audience. So this is one of the key tools that I use almost every single day in reaching out to new prospects, using as a research tool for my new clients. And it's one of the first things that I ask anytime I bring on a new client. Number one, can I get some video testimonials so that I can start using those video testimonials for the Facebook ad copy? And I'll go into that a little bit more next week. But also, who is your competition? And that's when I'll go into what I'll show you in just a second, to take a look at the competition, take a look what their ads look like, what ad copy they're using, what is unique about them, so that I am not saying the exact same thing to the exact same audience. And that's really what's going to happen, especially as you put out, I've seen it time and time again, where coaches and businesses just put out a Facebook ad and aren't cognizant of what their competition is saying. And many times they're saying the exact same thing. And that's going to hurt your Facebook ad performance over time, especially as your audience sees the same offer, sees the same differentiators, especially if they've tried it before. If everybody within the industry is saying the same thing and they've tried some of those solutions, but it hasn't really worked for them, they're going to get extremely skeptical and they're not going to take the action that you're looking for. So you want to make sure within your ad copy that your offer is something that they've never tried before. It's something brand new, and it's something that you can kind of build the belief that you can help them get the solution that they're looking for. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. And then I'm going to walk you through a couple different examples of ads that have really stuck out to me and how you could potentially use some of those strategies, regardless of what industry you're in, to utilize some of these things that some of these advertisers are using. They're very unique and kind of pointed out from an image perspective, from an ad copy perspective. I've got 4 different examples that I'll show you today. But let me just start with the actual tool that is out there, and I'll just kind of share my screen here. Just have to find my mouse. Just give me a second. Okay. There it is. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen and show you this tool. So again, it's called the Facebook ad library. So again, just a simple Google search. If I just bring over my cursor here. So go into Google, type in Facebook ad library. It'll come up right here. And what this just represents is basically Facebook's, it's been around for a while. It's basically Facebook's way of bringing, transparency to the broader market about who is advertising on their platform, what they're saying, and has various different special categories. So everything from politics to real estate to other categories to bring a little bit more transparency to their overall market. And the reason why I love it as a Facebook ads expert is I can see what everybody else is doing. I can go into, just typing in, you can see here by keyword or by advertiser, and I can type in various different keywords depending on what clients I'm working with, what industries they're in, but also taking a look by business page, by advertiser, really is by that business page name. I can type that in and see what's really working for people. And really the way to kind of see if people's ads are working is just by looking. It'll actually give you the date that they started running those ads. So the longer they've been running the ads, the more it's assumed that those ads are working really well. So again, I'll show you this in just a second. But again, before you run any ads, what you should do is come in here and type in some of those keywords that your audience would use and take a look at what other people are using for their ad copy. And also, we talked about earlier in the week, kind of those strategies that you utilize to have profitable ads. Take a look at what they're using. Are they using webinars? Are they using a PDF lead magnet? Are they doing a full sales funnel? You'll get a sense of that by doing some research within Facebook ad library and getting a sense from that overall. So I'll just give you an example. This is the latest one that I had in there. And to give you a more recent example, one of the things that I've been seeing, especially with kind of working with parenting coaches as clients, but also as prospects, what I'm seeing more and more is people are using that same offer, same differentiator. So to give you an example, a lot of parent coaches are going out there and talking about brain health as a key, way to kind of for a lot of parents to stop yelling at their kids, to kind of further that relationship over time. But as everybody across the industry talks about brain health and uses that as their differentiator, and more parenting books are talking about brain health, and more of the audience are kind of utilizing brain health as a potential solution and aren't getting the results that they're looking for. If you're launching a brand new offering around brain health, and they see that and they say, I've tried that before and it didn't work for me. Recognize that your audience may be coming to your offer with a high degree of skepticism. They've been trying and looking for solutions for a long period of time. And if you're talking about the same things that your competition is putting out there, if your offer isn't differentiated, your ad copy doesn't say something differently, then you're not going to get the right actions that you're looking for. You're not going to get those high quality leads that you're getting from Facebook ads. So I'll just use this as an example. This is one of the ones that I saw more recently talking about brain health. But you can see within the ad library, it'll tell you what exact date they launched it. So you can see for this one, it's got 2 different ads. And you can actually click through and you can hit the button and see, for this one, it's a webinar. So you can actually click through to that landing page, view the webinar. So really helpful to go in there and see what the competition is doing. Again, watch their webinar or opt in for their lead magnet and take a look at what that looks like and use that as the baseline for, okay, how can I differentiate my offering? If this is what the competition is showing and saying, how can I say something differently? And how can I talk about those key benefits that my audience wants the most? So again, I'm going to go into 4 different examples of, just ads that I saw just in the last few weeks that really stuck out to me that you could potentially use for your ads, regardless of what industry you're in. So the first one is called the Parenting Partner. So again, another parent coach, but I thought she really did a great job of using her own personal story to connect with her audience, kind of catch their attention, talk through that transformational story that she had, and use that as the impetus for the solution that she was able to put together, and ultimately get these moms, hiring her as a parent coach. So it starts with, and just in those first few lines. So again, the sound bite at the top before you hit that see more button is really important to kind of capture your, in this case, the mom's attention as they go through the news feed. And she does that really effectively. So she starts with, I'm a parent of 3 teens. So she gives that context of, I'm in the same shoes as you. So if you're, her main audience is those moms that have teenage daughters or sons where the relationship, for whatever reason, is kind of falling apart. These moms are getting stressed out, those kind of things. And that kind of gets to line number 2. At one point, it felt like a losing battle every single day. So number 1, she's kind of, she said that I've been in your shoes before. I have 3 teens. I've had the same problems that you're dealing with. And that will give you kind of that impetus to hit that see more button and read on and see what happens. So again, this is kind of where she gets into that transformational story. But before doing that, she kind of, again, connects with her audience a little bit more in talking about those pain points. So I found myself nagging them constantly. I still couldn't get them to do the simplest things. Finally, one day I completely lost my cool and I threw my first adult tantrum. That's it. I'm done. I'm so done with all of you. I shouted. And as a parent, even though I don't have a teenage kid, I can certainly realize those highly stressful moments where it seems like your kid isn't listening to you, and you just, everything is going wrong. And whether you've said those words out loud, you can kind of feel what she's feeling, and she's really taking you to kind of those trigger moments where the stress is almost at its highest, where everything is kind of built up and you're kind of ready to explode. So in that way, she's kind of connecting exactly where these parents are right now. And then she's talking through the potential solution of, like how she actually solved it. Did my kids pick me up after themselves that day? Oh, yes, they did. Only to return to the old ways within a couple weeks. So again, it goes to a lot of these parents that are looking for solutions. Maybe they found something that worked for a couple of weeks, but it always found its way back to those old ways. So she understands her audience really well. She's speaking to kind of that cycle that they're on. But then, gets to, in terms of curiosity, she gets to this line where it says, but then I made a huge discovery. It changed everything about my parenting. So again, talking about the benefits, she's not even telling you what that, using some curiosity to talk about the potential solution, and then talking about all the potential benefits. So again, it broke all the patterns that were causing so much friction, disconnection, frustration, overwhelm, and you too, even in today's chaotic world. And she outlines everything in her book right here. Again, she doesn't really give you a full sense of what that secret is. She's using the Facebook ad copy. She'll give a little bit more teasing if you go to that next page in terms of the landing page, and then using bullets below that to generate even more curiosity. And the idea of the bullets isn't that every single bullet is going to resonate with your audience, but there might be one of these bullets right here that really speaks to you, and that might be the one reason that you click through to the landing page overall. So I'll talk about on Monday how you can use your own personal story, your own struggles, and your own journey to kind of connect with your audience and introduce your process and your solution if it's a good fit. And that's what I see, particularly in the coaching space, where a lot of these, if you're a coach, you've kind of gone through the similar problems that your audience has gone through. So using your story, your transformational story, as a way of giving them hope, but also introducing your process is a great way of doing that. So I'll show you kind of step by step on Monday how you can actually do that and do it really effectively, but really using kind of the same format that you've done here in terms of this. And look at the image. So again, looking at like a mom and her teenager together to kind of get you stop scrolling. In terms of the headline, my teenagers pushed me over the edge. So again, kind of weaving you right into those first couple of lines to kind of connect with you from a problem perspective, to really connect with you where you are right now. So I thought just a very effective way of kind of using the problem, the potential solution, talking about kind of future pacing. So letting these moms know once they found that, once they've kind of bought into her solution, what they should expect on the other side, and then using some bullets to ramp up that curiosity for those people that might have a little bit, they're still, have some objections, get them to the other side, getting them to that landing page where they can buy a specific book. And within this strategy, again, go back to the profitable strategies that I talked about a few days ago. This one's all about putting a paid book in front of you. And once you buy that book for $12 to $14, she's going to put a series of different upsells in front of you in terms of memberships, courses, those kind of things. So the idea here is putting a self-liquidating offer and then using upsells and downsells to pay for the ad spend and get that lifetime value of that customer further up. So again, on Monday, we'll cover a little bit more about using your own story, but I thought this was a very effective way of utilizing that. Second one is right here in the weight loss space. So this one I thought was really great, and you'll see it in just a second, in that in many ways, he's kind of educating people on why they're not losing weight. So in this case, slow metabolism is what he calls it. So within this ad, it's kind of like a mini sales page where he's kind of educating his audience of you might not even recognize that you have this problem, but once you do, let's talk through all the solutions that are out there. And the key thing that he really understands for his audience as well is like, what are the other things that they are trying at and probably failing at as well. And this starts very much at the top. So you can see it starts with stop starving. I've been saying this for the last 8 years. Again, utilizing some of his own story as well within that ad copy. But it kind of goes to what the audience is trying. They're trying to cut their calories. They're trying to go on another 1,200 calorie diet. And it kind of goes to their mindset. Like starving sounds logical, sensible, and maybe even heroic. The issue is it's like fighting fire with fire. So it really goes to the common sense way of losing weight is to, lower your calorie count, increase your activity, get to that calorie deficit. And he's kind of throwing that for a loop and saying, like, if you're doing that, which most people are, you're actually making the problem worse. And I thought that was a very effective way of kind of catching your audience's attention and letting them know that the standard way of doing things is just not correct. And again, identifying a problem that you might not even mean. So again, what you mean, Neil? your metabolism is like fire. So this is where he kind of starts educating people on what your metabolism, what makes it up, and those kind of things, and kind of introducing his potential solution. And again, it's talking about metabolism, a lack of discipline, bad genetics, age, and then he kind of gives it a name. Metabolic slowdown is actually, and thankfully, a simpler equation. So again, this is where he starts introducing his solution, his unique mechanism that kind of comes through. And the good part is that he, even with his ad, he's sending you to a quiz where you can start to identify, okay, is this something that I have? Is this something that I'm dealing with? And I thought that was just really effective in terms of what you're trying to do. And it kind of goes to, like, again, he kind of brings through all the stuff that you're trying. But everybody knows at some moment that you do give up. You get tired of going to bed hungry, feeling tired and deprived, and go back to your own ways. So again, he's talking about the cycle that most people go on of kind of depriving himself, but they know on one of those days, you're just going to kind of lose your willpower and you gain it all back. So talking about that cycle that his audience is going on again and again. Again, and that's and he talks about all the other things that they've tried, whether it's cardio, starving, hating your life, keto, fasting, Zumba, meditation, like all those things. And he's, along the way, he's telling you that my solution has nothing to do with those things. It has something to do. So again, building up some curiosity about, like, okay, if it's not about giving up wine or calorie deficits, like, that sounds really good. Like, what could it be about? So using that Facebook ad as curiosity to get to the next page, which again, for him, is all about making it personalized, but also getting to that quiz where he can get a little bit more data from you. And it takes 30 seconds, simple little quiz, hit that link. And the other part about it is again, like, that image is the first thing that people see. He's showing you kind of, once you've used his program transformationally, like, again, if you're a guy and you come across this image, like, wow, I want to look like this guy. And then the headline kind of just grabs your attention too, how to lose the pudge and gut after 40. So again, like, his main audience is those men after 40 that really feel unhealthy. They've been trying all these different things. Nothing is working. So he's grabbing your attention with that image of what you want to look like. He's kind of using the headline to further qualify you, and then going through and getting you to read that ad copy where he kind of introduces his solution, where again, he doesn't give everything away. He tells you what it isn't and talks about that cycle that he was on at one point. And I thought that was an effective way of kind of walking, really understanding your audience. What are they trying? What are they struggling with? What's that cycle that they continue to be on? And a great way to resonate with them. The next one is from Wicked Reports. I actually saw this, I think it was yesterday. And it's something that obviously is very top of mind. They sell things that really help with kind of the iOS update and getting further data. So they kind of took a contrarian type approach where they're putting out something to kind of fuel the fire a little bit. And everybody's worried about the iOS update. And they're basically saying within this ad that it's actually going to be worse than you expected. So I thought that was just that one line, iOS 14 will be a bigger issue than many are predicting. And it kind of goes through, why that's the case, and kind of, just putting a little fear, especially if you're running Facebook ads, like, what, it's going to be even bigger. Like, you're already seeing right now, people are talking about how their ad prices are going up more and more and more. And this is kind of just throwing more fuel on the fire, saying, like, if you thought it was bad now, it's only going to get that much worse. Again, the next few months will be chaotic, and they believe they'll be painful for overconfident marketers who don't understand the full picture, and kind of getting into those scenarios. And they offer themselves as kind of that key solution. So we'll walk you through specific advertising scenarios and explain what's actually going on, so you'll have full transparency on what's going on, and then offering up that education and value as kind of that first step. So again, people are fearful of what's going on. They're not exactly sure all the components of what has changed and why their ad costs are going up. So Wicked Reports is offering a way, kind of as a way to kind of fill that gap. They're going to lessen your fear because they're going to show you exactly what's going on and different scenarios of what you can use for your ad to get those ad costs down over time. So I think just as a way, like, again, they kind of scare you in that early part of the ad to kind of build up that emotion and get you stirred up a little bit. because it's not, like Facebook, your Facebook ad costs aren't something that you're thinking about 24 hours a day. But if they can kind of get you into, having a lot of fear about how iOS can get even worse, that's an effective way to start introducing their solution and getting that out there. And I thought, again, another great image that kind of shows, maybe the despair that you feel in your heart right now as you're looking at your business manager, your ads manager, and looking at your costs going up, but also some text to go in there as well. So, just a great way of doing that. So that's Wicked Reports. And then one other one that I wanted to show you is Traffic and Funnels. And these guys run a lot of different ads, but I think, more than anything, obviously they have a lot of great ad copy. And this one is just a great example, but what I really wanted to kind of point out was their image. And they use a lot of great images. They test out a lot of different things, but kind of thinking about, bringing you to a specific moment, thinking about and using within this, this is one of the ones that caught my attention as it was going through the news feed, kind of one of those moments, especially if you're a freelancer or entrepreneur. So again, there's you hiding behind the wall, and you have this client that is kind of like a raptor that's always looking for you. So it kind of, it says a lot within that image, and it sets up the ad really well in doing that. So you can kind of, like everybody's, for a lot of the freelancers and entrepreneurs, they've always been in that situation where the client is always like contacting them after hours on the weekend, all those kind of things. So this kind of really, in a simple image, really brings kind of one of those moments to life, gets you to laugh a little bit, and start thinking like an 8-figure consultant. Again, that's the key benefit statement, and it really rolls up really well with kind of the ad copy. So again, starts with kind of that phrase that you would get from a client, especially if you're a freelancer or whatever, where you get that call from the client, hey, are you available? And you feel like you can't say no. Again, they bring you a specific moment. It's Saturday morning when this message hits your inbox. At this point, you talk more with clients than with family. So again, really resonating and bringing you to those specific moments where, as a freelancer or consultant, you are feeling the most amount of pain. You feel like you're trying to grow your business, but as you grow your business, your freedom from clients and messaging and all that kind of stuff is increasing. And then they offer up their solution as they go along. And they kind of bring in their personal story as well. So like, again, in 2015, I was still broke and trying to make it. So you can see with all these various different ads, at some point, they're trying to resonate with you and kind of meet you where you are as an audience, and saying, I felt your pain before, I know where you are. And that really sets up their potential solution, introducing some curiosity as you go along. Again, we'll talk about doing this a little bit more tomorrow, but also next week, and how you can do the same for your own story using testimonials as well, and really setting up your unique formula, your unique mechanism that makes it really distinct. And kind of, again, the whole idea of the Facebook ad copy is not to sell your product or your service right away, but to get them to that next step, whether it's a landing page, webinar, whatever strategy you're using along the way. So again, for this one, again, they're using a self-liquidating offer. So they're putting out a free book. They're asking you to pay for that shipping. And then once you do that, they're going to put a series of upsells in front of you to kind of pay for that ad spend, but also get the lifetime value of the customer up. So, I mean, for these guys, they have a series of offers in terms of courses, memberships that you can join, masterminds as well. So they'll have a series of different offers that they put in front of you, and they use kind of these lower priced offers, like an ebook for only $199, to just get you into their community. And they know once they deliver value, once they give that education, that you'll be more than willing to continue to make further purchases all along the way. So again, to kind of wrap up here, utilize the Facebook ad library, go in and take a look at your competition, as much as possible, and before you run an ad. And what that does is allows you to kind of differentiate your messaging from all the other people that are out there, recognize that your audience is getting ads not only from you, but from everybody else. So we want to make sure that your ad kind of sticks out. It's not just saying the same thing that everybody else is saying. That's going to lead to them, like your audience taking the action that you want the most. So in the examples that I talk through, again, using your personal story is a great way of doing that. So meet your audience exactly where they are, tell a specific story, think about their trigger moments. And again, we'll talk about this a little bit more next week. think about those moments where your audience is most stressed or most dealing with the problem that you solve. And kind of think about those experiences that you've had as well. Tell a short little story about that. Tell about like share some of those emotions that are out there, and then start to tell that transformational story. So start talking about how everything changed by how you discovered one simple solution or your process, and walk them through how you did that. Again, generating some curiosity along the way. We want to get people clicking that link and getting to the next page. Second thing you can do, I'll go back to the slow metabolism. Again, talking about what your audience is trying, all the stuff that they've tried before. It hasn't really solved their problem. They've been on the cycle of trying all these different things and nothing has worked. So you generating that solution and talking through why your solution is nothing like they've tried before, but it's actually educating them on a problem that they might not even know or realize that they have. So providing some education around a problem and why that might be the central thing once they realize it might be the key secret to getting them the results that they're looking for. Again, using images that kind of help people visualize where they want to go is a great way of capturing their attention. Wicked reports, as an example, I showed that example, again, showing some polarizing statements. In their case, talking about how iOS is going to be way worse than most people expect. And by doing that, offering their solution as a great way of understanding the problem, but also getting around it with various different scenarios. So educating people, but kind of heightening their fear before you do that. Great way of kind of offering up their solution. And then traffic and funnels, again, using really unique images to kind of illustrate and kind of bring your audience to specific moments in time where their pain points are at their highest, to stop their scroll, to kind of generate some humor as well. Great way of getting people to take that action that you're looking for. So again, in the comments below, wherever you're watching this, let me know, give me a link within Facebook ad library, some of those ads that really have stuck out for you, and why, one of the, like, as you go through the news feed right now, give me a link to some of those ads that are, stopped your scroll or maybe made you click through in the link because it spoke to whatever pain point you're dealing with right now. Or just as you look across the broader industry, experiment within Facebook ad library. What are the ads that really stuck out, and some of the strategies that you might be utilizing as we go through. So tomorrow, I'm going to take a look at some of the ads that I am in the process of writing. I'm going to show you what they're running for several different businesses and coaches in terms of their ads right now, how I kind of rewrote some of those ads in kind of my format of using story-based ad copy. So I'll show you kind of the before and after, and I'll walk you through in 2 or 3 examples the various different components that will help you write better ad copy as we go along. So that's it for now, and we'll see you tomorrow.